Hello everybody, it's me, Dana, and today I'm sharing with you some of my strange experiences, some of my weird, and by weird I mean a wonderful experience individuals rarely discuss. And to me that's weird. When you experience a magical, wonderful synchronicity or event, I believe we should spend more time celebrating these things because they are beautiful, they are wonderful. And for those of you who don't think so, well, how happy are you? If we don't celebrate the magical moments, then what's the point of being here, really? Eat, work, sleep, repeat, die? Seriously, that's not why we're here. We're amazing, beautiful beings, and we've been thrown into this eat, work, sleep, repeat, judgment, and chaos matrix of bullshit. And I'd say one of the first skills I developed was I see bullshit. I see it, I call it, and I'm speaking my truth. One of the first strange experiences that happened for me was I was searching for anything I could basically get my hands on because TV and the same old everything, nothing was working for me, and I knew intuitively to turn it off. It just was full of poison. I'd feel so exhausted after watching television, and it literally drained me. So I had to unplug it. And I got rid of the darn thing. And for those of you who think it's not possible to live without TV, well, I challenge you on that one. It's not possible to live your life while you're watching TV. Ironically, the ones that you're maybe possibly admiring on television don't spend any time themselves watching it. No. Why? Because they're busy out there living life. They're doing things. They're not sitting on the couch going into a coma every day. So that's the first step on my journey. I just intuitively knew that the television was not good for me. Then I was drawn to certain groups. I was looking for people who had, interesting things to talk about. And I found this workshop going on in this store. It was said, "Are you an empath?" And then it described the qualities of an empath. And as I was reading the list, I'm like, check, check, check. Whoa, I think I should go to this workshop and see what this is all about. I needed some more info. And if there were other people who were checking that off, then there'd be people like me there. So away I went. And it was extremely informational and helpful to understand these qualities about myself. An empath is somebody who has the ability to put themselves in someone else's place, to really empathize with what it's like to be in that situation. Not sympathize, empathize. Sympathy means we're feeling sorry for somebody. Empathy means we can take ourselves out of our situation and put ourselves into the other person's situation, and we can understand what it's like, what it feels like to be in that person's place. Is this a skill? Is it a personal quality? I think both. You have to care. If you don't care, if you don't give a crap about anybody else, then you're not empathic and you're not sympathetic either. You're quite selfish, actually, and probably not very happy. After the workshop was over, the person leading the workshop said that for those of you who are signed up for the second workshop this afternoon, we'll meet back here after lunch. And I'm like, oh, Well, what's that about? I've got nothing to do after lunch. I want to stick around. I was making some connections and talking to people about things that were interesting. I didn't want to go home. So I signed up for the second workshop without really even knowing what it was. I didn't care. I just wanted to be there around other people. So I go into the second workshop, and as we come in, you're supposed to choose there was a bunch of crystals and bracelets at the front, and you were supposed to choose one. And then as we got into the workshop, she said I want everybody to grab a partner. So we all paired up, and she said, okay, now one of you stick up your hand. So my partner stuck up her hand, and she says, okay, whoever stuck up their hand your crystal to the other person. And the other person, give that person a reading based on the crystal they chose. I was like, what? A reading? Oh, I don't know how to do that. Oh boy, I'm thinking, oh, this person who's partnered with me they're getting ripped off. I'm just gonna have to, I'm gonna have to apologize afterwards because, I've never done that, right? So, and I hear the person leading the group, okay, start. I'm like, okay. So I look at this person's crystal that they had chosen and looking at the lines in it, and then I proceed to give her a reading. And I'm just looking at the crystal, and I'm just blurting out stuff that's coming out of my mouth. And part of me is thinking, where'd that come from? Sounds good. Oh my God. I'm thinking, okay, I need to tell this person I've never done a reading, and I'm sorry. And I look up, and the person who's partnered with me, whom I'm, just chattering whatever pops into my head out, is crying. And I'm like, sorry. And she's like, no, you're so bang on. You're so accurate. That really meant a lot. Oh, really? Okay, that's weird. So then we were guided to switch partners, get a new partner. And again, I'm thinking, oh, I should apologize to this person. Gonna do another reading, and I don't know how to do that. So this time, we each had a piece of paper. She said, okay, so rip up your piece of paper. Rip it into pieces. And then put it in a pile in front of you. Okay? Now, based on the pile of ripped up paper in front of your partner, give them a reading. Okay. Again, I just jumped right in. I'm like, whatever, I'll give it a whirl. All ready with my apology to give to this person because, I've never done this before. And I proceed, it's like, oh, well, you've ripped off this big chunk here, and this is a big ledge in your life. And I cannot remember how it all came out now. I mean, it's years ago. But again, I look up, and the person is crying and wanting to hear more. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, by the fourth time, I realized maybe I can do this. And I can do it quite well. So I wanted to talk to the people who I gave the readings to, and to confirm. I'm like, seriously, like, how accurate that was. And they're like, very, like 99.9. I mean, you were right on. You really resonated and spoke to my soul. So this is one of the first times that I did readings. Shortly thereafter, I signed up for a mediumship workshop, and they had different levels. We want the more advanced students to go downstairs, and the just starting beginners, no experience whatsoever group will go into this room. So that's the group I went into, right? And again, we're paired up, and then we were giving pieces of paper by the workshop person. So this time I was given a year, and then physical. That was it. It's like, okay, this is the year. Give this person a reading on their physical health. Okay, so I focus on the woman who's sitting across from me, and as I'm sitting there, I'm starting to feel pain in my head and pain across my chest, and I'm going, I'm feeling intense pain here and intense pain across my chest. I feel like I'm being heaved forward in great momentum, and this is really hurting. And then this is really hurting. So I don't know if you were in an accident or a crash, but the pain in the head is extremely intense. And then I proceeded to go on from there. And again, the woman says, well, I was in a car accident. The brakes went on my car and I was reeling down the hill. And when it finally stopped, I hit and I had a semi-concussion. How did I know that? You know, there's this perfect stranger sitting in front of me, and all I'm told is a year. Here. What happened in 1984 to this person? And I picked that up. So, as things have gone on, I've realized to trust it more and just go with it. And the challenge is in the beginning, deciphering what's your mental thoughts and what's the messages coming through. So what I've come to understand is if you're trying to talk yourself into it and add a bunch of stuff, that's usually your mental clutter. If it just comes out and it's right through and it just flows, that's spirit working through you. And the more relaxed and believing that you are, the clearer the messages come through. It's like you have volunteered to be a cell phone. You have volunteered to pass on the messages that this person's soul wants them to hear. Okay? Don't shoot the postman. Okay? And also remember, if you are starting to give readings, it's not your job to tell the other person what to do with the information, okay? You're not supposed to filter it because you're worried about hurting their feelings. No, the words and thoughts are coming through as they are to be delivered, okay? Because if you throw that in your own, oh, I can't tell them this and I can't tell them that, you are denying that person from their pure, beautiful message, okay? Now, I've witnessed a few people, acquaintances of mine, do this, and one of them actually, you know, they hurt me a little bit by withholding some of the information. And I told them later on, I really wish that you would have told me that exactly as it came through on that day, because it would have greatly changed where I went from there. So don't filter it. Just let it come out, okay? And no, you're not supposed to sit there and tell the person what to do with their message afterwards. It's their message for them to take into their heart and for them to decipher and to move forward with. I can tell you that when the messages do come through and you are a clear vessel, that they always make the other person feel better. There's something that that person's soul wants to hear, and that's the messages that are coming through. It is something that will benefit them, help them get unstuck, help them stop playing the same tape over and over and over and over in their head, right? It's a nudge from the universe. It's a love message from the universe, from your higher self, from God, whatever you want to call it, source, creator. It's coming from something greater than ourselves, but it is what connects all of us. We are all connected. And my experiences have shown me that more and more and more. Okay. If you're waking up these gifts, just really trust them. All right. And if your immediate family and friends aren't being supportive, then go out and find other like-minded beings, okay? Look for a metaphysical shop in your area. Look for a place that sells crystals, or go hang out in the book section at the store that has those kinds of books in it. For a while I was working in a bookstore. It was called Self-Connection Books. And, the books were all about spirituality and self-improvement and natural healing and health and orbs and angels and all these stuff like this. And people would just come into the store and they'd go, I don't know what it is about here, but sometimes I just need to come in here just to calm down, just to breathe. You wouldn't believe how many people would just come into the store just because they just felt better being in the store. And I remember 2 young teenage girls coming in, and I was picking up loud and clear that this one young girl really needed to hear a message. And I was there doing readings, and she asked how much they were, and I could tell, she just didn't have the money. And I said, well, today for you, it's by donation. And because I knew she needed to hear what was coming through. And I wasn't going to let the fact that she didn't have any money prevent me from delivering her messages to her. So I ended up giving her and her friend a reading, and the two of them, their spirits were so much higher and so much more positively amped by the time they left that store. Wow. That's the greatest gift. That's a great reward. That's a good payment. Okay? Yes, there are people out there who can afford to pay for a reading, and it's greatly appreciated. There has to be an even energy exchange. That's how the world works, and that's how it works beautifully. But we also know intuitively the people who can't afford. And when you have these gifts, it's important to share them with the people who need them. My screen keeps going dead. That's all I wanted to say to you out there. If you're waking up your gifts and you need some help and guidance, connect with someone in your neighborhood, or go find another psychic medium. Go for a reading and ask questions and trust your intuition. If the reading doesn't feel accurate, it doesn't feel right, well, don't listen to it. If it does, it resonates with you. I mean, if the person is talented in being a clear vessel and delivering the messages, you will know it. You will get chills. It will bring the emotions to the surface. It will help you know what to keep and what to let go of. It is a beautiful, beautiful way to help your spirit move forward. The messages are coming from your higher self. They're the ones that you need to hear to help you clear out maybe some mental clutter or some emotional pain, or to get unstuck from where you are. And if someone's giving you less than that, then go somewhere else. All right? Smiles to all of you. It's me.